This stop is Totten Avenue and Cross Island Parkway. Next stop, Cross Island Parkway and 212th Street. This stop is Cross Island Parkway and 212th Street. Next stop, Cross Island Parkway and 208th Place. This stop is Cross Island Parkway and 208th Place. Next stop, Cross Island Parkway and Baybridge Condo. This stop is Cross Island Parkway and Baybridge Condo. Next stop, Cross Island Parkway and Golf Course. This stop is Cross Island Parkway and Golf Course. Next stop, Willets Point Boulevard and 16th Avenue. Transfer available to QM20. This stop is Willets Point Boulevard and 16th Avenue. Next stop, Willets Point Boulevard and 17th Avenue. This stop is Willets Point Boulevard and 17th Avenue. Next stop, Willets Point Boulevard and 16057 Willets Point Boulevard. This stop is Willets Point Boulevard and 16057 Willets Point Boulevard. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and Willets Point Boulevard. Transfer available to Q76. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and Willets Point Boulevard. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 21st Avenue. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 21st Avenue. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 163rd Street. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 163rd Street. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 24th Avenue. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 24th Avenue. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 25th Avenue. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 25th Avenue. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 168th Street. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 168th Street. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 169th Street. Transfer available to Q31. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 169th Street. Next stop, Francis Lewis Boulevard and 170th Street. This stop is Francis Lewis Boulevard and 170th Street. Next stop, 29th Avenue and 171st Street. This stop is 29th Avenue and 171st Street. Next stop, 29th Avenue and 169th Street. This stop is 29th Avenue and 169th Street. Next stop, 29th Avenue and 167th Street. This stop is 29th Avenue and 167th Street. Next stop, 29th Avenue and 165th Street. This stop is 29th Avenue and 165th Street. Next stop, 29th Avenue and 163rd Street. This stop is 29th Avenue and 163rd Street. Next stop, 29th Avenue and 161st Street. This stop is 29th Avenue and 161st Street. Next stop, 29th Avenue and 159th Street. This stop is 29th Avenue and 159th Street. Next stop, 29th Avenue and 157th Street. This stop is 29th Avenue and 157th Street. Next stop, Bayside Avenue and 154th Street. This stop is Bayside Avenue and 154th Street. Next stop, Bayside Avenue and Murray Street. This stop is Bayside Avenue and Murray Street. Next stop, Bayside Avenue and 150th Street. Transfers available to Q15 and Q15A. This stop is Bayside Avenue and 150th Street. Next stop, Bayside Avenue and 149th Street. This stop is Bayside Avenue and 149th Street. Next stop, Bayside Avenue and 148th Street. This stop is Bayside Avenue and 148th Street. Next stop, Bayside Avenue and 146th Street. This stop is Bayside Avenue and 146th Street. Next stop, Bayside Avenue and Parsons Boulevard. This stop is Bayside Avenue and Parsons Boulevard. Next stop, Bayside Avenue and Union Street. Transfers available to Q20A, Q20B and Q44 SBS. This stop is Bayside Avenue and Union Street. Next stop, Union Street and 33rd Avenue. This stop is Union Street and 33rd Avenue. Next stop, Union Street and 35th Avenue. This stop is Union Street and 35th Avenue. Next stop, Union Street and Northern Boulevard. Transfers available to Q13 and Q28. This stop is Union Street and Northern Boulevard. Next stop, 39th Avenue and Lipman Plaza. Transfers available to the 7 train, Long Island Railroad, Q12, Q15, Q15A, N20G, Q17, Q17 Limited, Q19, Q25, Q25 Limited, Q26, Q27, Q27 Limited, Q34, Q48, Q50 Limited, Q58, Q58 Limited, Q65, Q65 Limited and Q66. This is the last stop. This stop is 39th Avenue and Lipman Plaza. This is Q16 to Flushing Main Street Station. A fare is required to ride.